Well, hello there, and welcome to our second part of our session with Lisa Autry. Crazy excited. Lisa is a productivity coach, and this today's topic is her jam. I'm very excited about it. Many times we look at our time and we are reactive to it. We allow ourselves to feel like we have to, as it comes, we just, okay, now I gotta do this. And then our phone's pinging, and then our kids are crying, and then our husband's calling us and asking for help. And we're constantly reacting to them. But when we take authority over our time, begin to steward our time, then we find ourselves being proactive and managing our time well and being able to gauge what is urgent, what's not urgent, what can be put off for later, and what needs to be handled right now. So I'm going to pass this over to Lisa. She's going to knock our socks off like she always does. And I hope y'all are ready to take notes. Here you go, Lisa.
Wow, that was like a fire intro. If I ever go like speak on a big stage somewhere, you're going to kick it off for me. Thank you. I love it.
Gladly.
It's powerful. Okay, as Nelly said, my name is Lisa Autry. I'm your productivity coach. I help people go from scattered to extremely streamlined. Today we are going to be talking about the hot topic of time. What is this finite thing that we feel like we have an infinite surplus of, but it is always fleeting? I always tell my clients we have the same 1,440 minutes in a day. Seems like a lot, right? But uh, a lot of times we feel like it's not enough. And so we're going to be talking about this today. We all have the same 1,440 minutes, but how are you choosing to spend it? So I want you guys to have a perspective as we dive in today of choice. How are we choosing to spend our time? Because let me tell you, you get 1,440 minutes once. Once it is spent, you do not get it again. This is kingdom work that we show up and do every single day. This is not meant to be easy. We are in a fallen world. So we know that, some days will be good, some days will be bad. But I want to take you guys from this perspective of letting life happen to making a choice to how you will spend your time. Now, if you have little people in your house like I do, it feels like I'm always at the mercy of their wants and their desires. However, and we'll be talking about this throughout today, you still have a choice of setting the tone. I don't know if anyone that's watched My Big Fat Greek Wedding, but remember, she talks about the man is the head, but the woman is the neck of the household. We are the neck that steers the tone of the home. So while we submit to our husbands, who are the head of the household, we are the tone setters. And it all starts with this little concept of time. Because with time, we choose how our family spends it and how we act through it. So it all starts with that choice. All right, neck of the household, let's get going, okay? So today's concept is all about organizing your time for freedom, and it's about making space. I am very much a proponent and an advocate for breadth. I think it is very important because the more we stack and compress our time, the more strained we're going to be. And to be a Christ-like woman, look at Christ went away and left his disciples for a while and would have time with his father. He would have moments of peace and of calm. And we need that as well. We are beings that need to recharge. We are energy. And so making space for who and what matters most is very crucial in this concept of choice and in the dissemination of our time. So enough of my cute little intro spiel. Let's dive in. So as you guys know, you met me last time. I am first and foremost, a woman of God, and that is what is at the forefront of my business. But I'm also a mom, a homeschooling teacher, a terrible chef, just so bad at it, but I'm doing it every day. Author, speaker, and coach. And if anyone like my clients that describe me, I am an action-oriented coach. I'm always getting your jumbled up mess to clean, streamlined action. And I tell it like it is. So hope you guys are ready to take that. Okay, so let's dive on in. Okay, why we never have enough time. Remember, like I said last time, it was like why we all struggle so much. Let's talk about today why we never have enough time. We need to know why in order to be able to correct it and move forward. We take on too much and feel guilty when we cannot complete everything. Um, I muted or I minimized you guys so I can't see pictures. But can you comment in the box if that's you? If you feel like you take on too much and you feel guilty when you cannot complete everything, I want to know if that is you. And maybe it's all of you. You could say me 4 times. You could be like me, me, me. Then I'll know exactly who it is. So just say me. We don't reconcile our to-dos with what has been done. So a lot of times we create these really beautiful plans throughout the day, and we're not actually checking off and reconciling. I also use the word recalibrating to help us understand what it is we actually accomplished. We start our mornings chaotic and unorganized. Is that you? Is your How are your mornings? I want to know how your mornings are. And we close out the day and haphazard and exhausted. If you don't scream, I told you to get your pajamas on at least 50 times, are you even a mom, right? But that leads to haphazard and exhausted. So let's see what you guys are commenting here. Sometimes for sure, definitely. Sometimes, yep. Me, me, me. Yes. Okay, so we want to talk about this because all of these are actually extremely correctable with the tools I'm going to be helping you guys implement. There are a few challenges in here, so I want to remind you guys have something to write with and have a notebook because write down your challenges so then you can start taking actual action today. So, I want to teach you guys the concept of bookending your day. This is a very powerful concept of how you start and how you end your days dramatically affects the ultimate success throughout your day. I truly believe this, how you start your day and how you end your day. And it also carries into how you sleep and just what you accomplish throughout your days. So these rhythms actually help you create margin in your days intentionally. What does that mean? When you start and end with certain, I'm going to be teaching you how to start and end it like in a good way. And it'll be a framework for you guys to develop around. But that allows you to build in margin. And that's where that choice comes in. How am I choosing to show up today? And this is a very proactive and responsive approach. We'll be talking about this a little bit more. But what I mean by proactive and responsive is you make a plan, and if it doesn't go to plan, you respond. That is different than being reactive with your time. When you wake up and be like, what's going to happen today? That's reactive versus responsive. When you have children, actually, let me just not even say children. When you have one person in your life that depends on you, you have to have that responsive ability in there to not get derailed. When you're responsive, you're like, okay, well, all 3 of my children are throwing up. Now I'm going to have to respond and pivot, and that's okay. That's where we lead with grace, and that's where we lead with perspective of today is not the day, and that's okay. And then bookending your day, it's a chance to pause and gain control in the beginning and the end. So anyone that has had like a horrible day, like are you just like, I just want to end today. I just don't want to do today anymore. Not today anymore. We do want to close out in a certain way to express gratitude and appreciation so we don't carry that mentality into the next day. Oftentimes when we go to sleep, when you go to sleep in chaos, your mind will ultimately wake in chaos. And we're going to talk about this more. I also want to quickly touch on the topic of aligning it with your chronotype will help you understand your energy best and what you need. We can discuss this in the roadmap call if you have not taken advantage of one yet. I will be posting it at the end. Those of you, because I see a few ladies in here that are working with me one-on-one and that are also working with me in Thrive, that's my Christian cohort, we address chronotype, don't worry. So those of you that are not working with me in some capacity, this is known as your genetic makeup. And this is how the natural ebb and flow of your day and your quality of sleep. So we do not have to, if I included this, we would be here for the next 2 days just because it's such a big concept that is interwoven with everything. But I want you guys to know that this is a very crucial component of the ebb and flow of your day. And so those of you that work with me one-on-one, we do handle that, and it's a very important part. We can talk about that another time though. If you haven't grabbed a roadmap call, you can grab a roadmap call and we can talk about it then as well. Okay, so I know this sounds weird. You're like, why would we start with the end of our day first? Well, the end of our day will come before the beginning of the next day. And actually, the bookend at the end actually sets our success up for tomorrow. And our success for tomorrow starts today because we make a choice of how we are going to go in tomorrow. That is very different than most of us being waking up and then being like, now I'll make a plan. No. You must make a plan the night before, respond to the plan in the morning. Why? Because this really cool concept in our brain, when you write down your power of six, we're going to talk about that in a second. When we write down our power of six, our brain actually starts putting the pieces of the puzzle together before we are subconsciously doing it while we sleep. We are subconsciously writing that email back to that person. We're subconsciously tabulating data in our brain while we sleep. And you didn't even have to like spend your mental load on it during your wake hours. So this is where your chronotype can really be helpful because we have what's called a power down hour. So what it is, and otherwise, like if you don't know your chronotype, it's okay. You just start it an hour before you go to bed. Maybe you're very consistent on your bedtime. That's great. And then you just start it 1 hour prior. So block out 1 hour to complete the following: a 10-minute tidy, bedtime routines, reflection and reconciliation, and your power of six and prep period for the next day. So let's go through each and every single one of these. The 10-minute tidy. This is not decluttering overhaul of your home. If you're trying to do that in the last hour, you're going to be up for the next 6 hours, okay? What I mean by a 10-minute tidy is just quickly resetting the spaces or the things that have not gotten put away throughout the day. If you have a bigger underlying issue, we can definitely have a call on working on transitional tidies. That's a whole other concept that we are not going to talk about. That's in my home pillar, and we can help aid your home and stuff and help your home aid you, I should say. So the 10-minute tidy is resetting your spaces, heavy traffic areas like your kitchen, like your mud room if you have one, your bathroom, like if things get scattered out. You set a timer and the whole family collectively tidies together. Okay. And so like an example is my son. I feel like I live at a car dealership because we have cars everywhere. They're just everywhere. I have two daughters before I had him. Very different. It's makeup and jewelry and polish that's everywhere. For him, it's trucks. And I feel someday I'm going to trip over one. It's going to be very, very bad. But they get scattered all over it. And even after I have him reset, sometimes there's one or two out. So that's during the 10-minute tidy. I'm telling him he's two. I tell him, go put those away. Go put those away. And he'll go and do that. It's meant to be quick burst, final closeout. Okay. Bedtime routines. This is the fun stuff, brushing the teeth, getting ready for bed, reading. We do read aloud as a family before bed and prayer. And then it moves into once you get your kids into bed. And this is even if you co-sleep, you need to give yourself some time after. So put them in bed, get them all set up, and then go and do your stuff. So what I need you to do is do the reflection and reconciliation. What that is looking at your current day of the task list and say, okay, what went right, what went wrong, reconciliation, recalibration, whatever you want to call it. Okay, what do I need to move to another day? And then helping you formulate like what you need to carry and what you need to put to rest. And then from there, doing your power of six for the next day. We're going to get into this in a second, so don't worry. And then your prep period. So I homeschool. So I love to get my kids' school set up the night before, and they each have a little stack. And so in the next day, I'm not like, okay, I got to get all that school stuff. We're able to flow into it. Now, if you send your kids to school, like you may not be able to get all of the lunch packed, right? That needs to happen in the morning. That's okay. We'll discuss it. But it doesn't, like some of the stuff, you can get their backpack set, you can get their shoes set. Because if you create peace before you go to bed, you're not screaming at them, where are your shoes? Like, where's that right shoe? You always lose the right shoe, right? You know where the things are the night before so you can go to bed more peacefully. The goal is to create calm. If you have any questions about this, I can see chats popping up. I'll read them after. Feel free to ask them and then we'll hit it. And you can even put in there, put on the end of day section. So when I'm reading a question, I'm like, what is this? Okay, so when I was writing my book 5 years ago, I was doing a lot of research on how much, because this kept coming up. I have a huge list and I can't get through it and I feel guilty. And so I did a lot of research and data tabulation on how much can someone actually realistically handle. And of course, like one article was talking about how you can really only complete one thing, and it was a man, and I'm sure he doesn't have kids. And then like other sites and other research I was doing, they were saying like 20, 30, 40 things. I'm like, man, that seems like a lot. And so I created what's known as the Power of Six methodology, and I've been practicing it with my clients for a solid 5 years now. I tested it to make sure the methodology worked, but it's the design of how you set your day up. So we realistically, and this is why I chose six, because six is divisible. And I say a 12-hour period because we want 12 hours to sleep, commute, just wasted time. We want 12 productive hours. And 12 is divisible by six. Now, I tell all of my clients, let's commit to three large objectives and three small objectives per day. So, how you weight the objectives. So, like one of my objectives today is 4 hours. So, that means I have 8 hours remaining for the five other objectives. Let me know if that makes sense. This is the first time you're hearing it. And so, I expect questions. That's perfectly fine. But when we look at it, and I actually think, yeah, I have my power of six right here. So I just had a meeting right before this. We will have a journal. It's going to be a planner journal. It's everything, your devotional, everything all in one. That will be coming out next month. But I always tell my clients like, hey, until then, you can just divide your paper into 6 blocks. I don't know if you guys can see me. If you can't, I can show you after. Um, and the 6 blocks are those three large objectives, three small objectives, and you weight them based on you. So like today, I had my faith bucket was just 1 hour. I read my Bible and I'm reading a devotional right now. So it's like I needed 1 hour. So that gives me 11 hours amongst five other tasks. So sometimes there'll be large objectives, quantifiably large, and sometimes there'll be small objectives. The goal is to add to 12 hours. If you're at 14 hours, that's too much. It needs to be 12. Why do we do this? Because we need to be very clear about how long something will take. We are always overextending ourselves. So we want the three large objectives, three small objectives. Now, does that mean we're only doing 6 things in a day? No. This is why I use the term objectives. Within each objective, you can have multiple tasks. So when I said, like for my faith bucket, for that day, I listed doing my Bible recap and reading my devotional. So that's 2 tasks within one objective. So I had one client tell me recently who's been with me we've been working together for 5 years. She's like, I do more than 6 things in a day. And I was like, the point is having groups of objectives because then it's easier for you to see the information. You can have a couple of tasks within each objective. Now, if you're stacking it and it's like all of a sudden you have 20 things, we need to be talking about that. But it helps you see the information more than in a list. List is really hard to discern priority, even when you put it in order. It's a lot more confusing to discern. This is where the power of six is helpful because it's 6 main buckets. So when you look at this image, I want you guys to actually every single day visualize you have 6 buckets that you get to fill with time and energy. With that seven, because half of 1440 is 1440 minutes in a day, is 720 minutes. You get to fill all those buckets up to 720 minutes, 12 hours, right? You get to take an hour here, an hour there, and fill your buckets. So this is where the last session is very, very important because I want it to be in alignment with your values. So I'm going to tell you my values so you can see the buckets. Value 1 is faith. Then I have health. Then I have family, meaningful work, and freedom. So as you can see, I have 5 values and I have 6 buckets. This is where I give you a bucket to play with. So you can see like on this particular example, I have work twice. That maybe it's a heavy work day. So I have 2 of my buckets are filled with different work items. Now, within an objective, I always try to batch similar type of objectives together. So today I had meetings, but then today I also had to go do stuff for my rebrand. Those are 2 different things. So I put work, check blogs for the rebrand, check this for the rebrand, do this. Let's think about your business. So, work, you could have outreach, you're following up with clients, and work, you could have content creation. That's 2 different types of tasks. Delineating them does help you. We want to think very streamlined. Now, you can see I have a freedom bucket right here, but I'm going to tell you, freedom is actually never on my power of 6. Freedom is the question I ask myself every day because that we talked about last time, that's an intrinsic value. So I ask myself, am I like, does my schedule today, does my power of 6 amplify freedom for myself? And if not, then I need to say, well, where? Oh, I way overbooked myself. That's why. So those intrinsic might not show up directly. You might not have a task for, I don't have a freedom task, although I will tell you, naps are pretty dang close for me. So I just consider that health. I take a nap, so I put it under my health bucket. But that's freedom for me. Being able on Tuesday to take a nap at 3 p.m., that's freedom for me. And so those intrinsic values may come through in the tasks you do, but it's okay if you don't have a bucket for it. You can fill it. So many days I have, like today, I have a faith bucket, I have 2 work buckets, 2 family buckets, and a health bucket. That's 6 buckets total. I know it sounds a little weird. It's okay though. Once you start like, I don't know, I'm a kinesthetic learner. I have to write down and do things. So if you're not understanding this, like try practicing doing 1 line down the middle of your paper and 2 lines horizontally, and then you'll have 6 buckets and you can start filling it out. Let me see, picture yourself filling your buckets. Yeah, I talked about all that. Okay, so challenge 1. Write this down, please. Determine when your power down hour starts. So write down the time. Say my power down hour starts at X time. I go to bed at 10 o'clock. My power down hour starts at 9 p.m. So it gives me a whole hour. I didn't talk about this in that thread, but I highly recommend during that power down hour, your phone doesn't exist anymore. Because if we're still staying glued to our phone, that messes up your circadian rhythm, all of that stuff. Uh, that's just a good rule of thumb. Your power down hour starts, you're powering down your system for night. Also in challenge 1, I want you to start implementing the power of 6 tonight. So tonight, make those 6 beautiful blocks and start filling in your buckets for the day tomorrow. And it'll take you a while playing with this. And what I do too is like next to faith, I say 1 hour. So then I can see, okay, I have 11 hours left. Then I start delineating, okay, family for homeschool underneath my family, one of my family buckets, I do school. So I'm like Ava school, Mia school, we have history. And so like I say, okay, from 9 to 11 is my family bucket. That's 2 hours. So between my faith and my family, I have 3 hours used. That means I have 9 more hours to use other places. So it's really great the night before. So every night I open up my calendar. I'm like, okay, what are my meetings tomorrow? What are my commitments? I lay those in on my buckets first and then fill in the buckets the rest. Why? Because it helps you to gauge what commitments you have and how much time you already have kind of already spent, like we're going to already spend. And then it allows you to create that breadth because many, many times our perception is very off from our reality. So we want to make sure that when we're listing these down, saying, okay, I'm giving this 3 hours and sticking with that. That's where your breadth will be built. Now, I had one client ask recently, I don't want to like work consistent. I don't want to be so busy for 12 hours. And I said, no, 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 no. Your power of 6 can be productive things. They can be rest. Like I said, one of my power of 6, especially during a particular week of the month, there's a nap every single day on there because I'm very mindful of my body and my energy. So I make sure I build in that breath. It's 12 productive hours, but you get to choose what productive looks like for you. And resting is productive. If not, We need to talk. I will help you reframe that. Okay, let's talk about the morning now. So exciting. You get up, you're so ready for the next day because you have your power of six. So we want to jumpstart your day with purpose. So your morning routine is going to be as simple as this: 10 to 15 minutes. Pause, plan, and prep. I also want to remind you guys like pray should be in there as well. So pause, plan, prep, and pray. During this 10 to 15 minutes is your morning prep period. You're going to review what you wrote the night before. So it's helping you orient yourself for the day. And then I love with the plan to tell my family what I'm going to do. I don't know if you have children like this, but mine are always asking, "What are we doing today, Mom?" They always have to know, but then I realize I always want to know too. So maybe I shouldn't be so hard on them. So we do it over our family morning meeting. It can be done with coffee. It can, you can have your slim drink ready, drinking that and sharing and saying, "Okay, guys, and this is what we do. We have our morning meeting. We sit up at our counter and I have my three kids. I'm like, "Okay, guys, this is what we're doing after breakfast. This is what we're doing after lunch. This is what the plan. This is the meeting Mom has later." So they know what's on my plate as well. And just getting everyone on the same page. And this works great too, even if you're leaving and you guys are all going separate ways. Say, "Okay, Mom's going to go to work. You guys are going to go to school. This is what we're going to do. And then tonight, this is also what we're going to do." It's just getting everyone on the same page before they separate for the day. The goal of this is to prepare for productivity. So with that prep, so say you're like, "Okay, I'm going to work on my business today." I actually like to open up some of the tabs or have some of the materials ready. So if I have a client meeting that day, I open up that person's file and I have it ready. And so when it's that time, I just click log in, open up my Zoom and ready to go. I had this presentation already open today, so I wasn't like, "Where's my presentation?" That prep will give you not only so much confidence and calm, but it helps you look really polished and professional to people versus being flustered when you're going into meeting and saying, "I'm sorry, I don't have this ready," or "I don't have this, I can't find this." You already found it 8 hours prior. And so that prep gives you that professionalism to be able to follow through. And that is really crucial as a business owner, not flying by the seat of your pants. You want to have yourself well prepared and planned. And this has saved my butt more times than I can count because I couldn't find something. So like I had to go to the DMV one time and I was getting all my documents ready. I couldn't find a particular document because I had started several hours prior during my prep period. It saved my butt for the time I had to leave versus trying to get something ready to go before it's time to go. That prep is crucial for us. Write down if you guys have any questions. Don't stack too much in your mornings because if you can't follow through, you'll immediately feel defeated. This is why it's a 10 to 15-minute process. It should be something that's easily implemented at the get-go. Okay, challenge 2. I want you to set a consistent time to complete your morning prep period and family morning meeting. If it changes, that's okay. You just want to have it as a standing meeting because meetings we will follow through with versus, well, we'll just get to it when we get to it. Whenever I say that, we never get to it. Like it just never happens. So I have a standing time. It's like, okay, breakfast is 8 o'clock. That's my prep period. Now, if you get up way before then, I already have my power of six ready to go. Before my kids have even woke, I've checked off multiple power of six. And that's okay. Power of six objectives, I should say. That's okay. It's just you're still orienting your family at the morning meeting. If you don't do this or if you don't need to do this, it's okay. But it does help set a tone. Remember that neck of the household? We want to have calm, clarity, and control. Okay, let's go back a little bit, tying this in with the values-based living. So what's most important must come first. What's first is first. So how can you live each day with your values? Is it the tangible? That could be one of the objectives. So faith is my number one value. That's on my power of six every single day. Every single day. Because if these five things are so important to you and you're not making time for them, then we're out of alignment. We're misaligned and we need to get back into alignment. I talk about this right here. Values-based living often means doing things that are important but not necessarily urgent, like relationships, planning, reconciling. Our relationship with our family doesn't feel so urgent, right? Because, well, they're always around us. But oftentimes, even if family is one of our top five values, we're not spending quality time on it. We're seeking quality time of being fully present. The Power of Six will help you with that. I even write down, so on family time, of course, I include our school, but on the days off, I'm like, oh, I want to spend some quality time with Mia. And then we do what's called Memory Monday. And so we have I don't know if any of you guys do like the memory game. We love the memory. We get into some pretty heated battles in our family. And so we have like a memory tournament on Mondays, and that's on my Power of Six on Monday. It's something we look forward to. And because I put it on my schedule, I'm not going to forget it. I put it on my Power of Six. There's intention there, and we have a lot of fun with it. But a lot of times our relationships aren't seen as urgent, so it falls by the wayside. In your Power of Six, several of your buckets may be family, and that's okay because you're like, man, I want to spend more time with my family. But when you're looking at it, tying with the values, you can look at a whole week and say, okay, did I move forward and put time into all of my values? And if not, what needs to change? With intrinsic, are you doing the right things to achieve those desired feelings? So I have a client with justice. Like, I guess like if you go in I was thinking of a task that could go with justice, right? So maybe picketing at your local government, that could be a task. But justice is often a feeling, right? Peace is often a feeling. We can, like I said, tie it to objectives. So you need to ask yourself with some of these intrinsic ones, okay, for me, it's like, is freedom being fulfilled in this? Yes. Okay, good. I'm in alignment. So your values had to come first. That's why we did that last month, because it dictates and directs your time. And this is a very valuable concept that a lot of people miss. And that's where that choice comes in. How am I choosing to spend my time? Okay. All right, budgeting your time. Budgeting your time is a lot like budgeting your money. Don't get scared by that. I have a lot of people that get really squeamish. It's okay. Money is okay. You don't need to be scared of it. We can talk about that. But it's very similar because once we spend that 1,440 minutes, it's gone. It's a gift. We're given 1,440 minutes each day. We don't know how many days we'll get, but it's a blessing when we get it regardless. So we need to focus on what is most important. We need to end our days with peace. We kick our days off with productivity, and we make that choice to live intentional, purpose-driven life. Okay? What a gift it is that we can be here today. What a gift it is that we have people in our world that we can spend time and energy with. And it all means it starts as a choice the night before of how you're going to show up and who you're going to show up as. Okay, so I asked Nellie if it was okay to give you guys something. And of course, her being just an amazing, gracious person, I want to give you guys my Flow audio course and workbook. It is helping you guys set up and adjust your time for freedom. So in that, we're going to go through how to manage your time effectively based on your values. You're going to get to use the FLOW acronym. I created this acronym to help you make decisions for the next day. Like the acronym is like 4 different questions, and it's like, is it this? Is it that? And it helps you make the choice going into the next day of how you're going to use your time and energy. And then the third thing is how to take action with the Power of Six. So if it's still feeling a little muddled, don't worry. We have 20 minutes I can help coach you through it. But also this workbook and with the audio course. So I actually like verbally walk you guys through it. This is normally 27, but if you use the code ORGANIZE, you guys get it for free. So if you guys want to grab that, I'm going to post the link right now. Just make sure you use the code ORGANIZE and then you get it for free. Okay. I also wanted to tell you guys, if you have not taken advantage of the roadmap yet, I'm going to send my calendar. I have very limited availability this month. So if you want to talk, grab it. It's free. Like, let's spend 20 minutes chatting about your business or your time or your personal life. Like, I handle it all. I refer to myself as a business productivity coach, but more often than not, I'm talking about personal things with my client because your personal life will dictate your business life. I am very much an advocate for building your business in the margins of your life. This is what I teach my clients in Thrive. It's like you can build a very successful business in the margins. You do not need to spend a ton of time on your business. Flow helps you get started. We can talk about it in the roadmap. So I'll post that. And then, oh my gosh, sorry. Like, hopefully you can remember all this. Write it down. Next Friday, I'm really, really excited. It's my 7th year in business, as well as I'm turning 37 years old. So, I always do a birthday sale every year. You guys will get to take advantage of this every year. I'm doing what's called my birthday calls. So it's my coffee and coaching sessions, and I sell them for the price of how old I'm turning, which is 37 this year. So you get a 30-minute call for 37 bucks. So if you've already used your roadmap, you can grab up to 3 of these. They do sell out very quickly though. Last year I had them sell out in 24 hours. So they go live next Friday. If you guys grab Flow, you will be put into my email database. But if you don't, you can just email me at lisa@lisaautry.com and say, please send me the link. Because once it's active, I believe we're going to be finishing that tomorrow. I'll actually send it to people ahead of time. I have a few people that already like, please send me the link to your birthday sale. I do give priority access. So once they're gone, they're gone. And then I'm also doing something really fun this year. I'm doing a VIP Voxer Day. So for 37 bucks, you can talk to me all day long via my walkie-talkie app. I love that because it's so fun. I love asynchronous coaching because sometimes we think of things later and you're like, should have talked about that. I will tell you guys, you can grab 3 of each. So there you go, stack it. You get 6 ways to talk to me over the next 6 months. They must be used in 6 months, which is not hard to do. Okay, now I have some laundry list things I need to send you guys, but I'm going to close this down and we can talk about your questions that you may have. Stop share. Oh, look at you're still here. Okay, good. I was like, I'm gonna like open it up and you guys aren't gonna be here. You guys are gonna freak out. It is system overload. So, and that's okay. This is meant to give you a start. So let me do the first thing, which I'm gonna include the roadmap call. Here's the link for the roadmap call if you haven't grabbed it. NAPS equals freedom. Amen, Lysandra. They do equal freedom. Let's see. Here's my flow. Here's my flow link and use the code organize. If you buy it, I'm not going to give you a refund. You've been told many times. Organize is the code. And if you guys want to be first notified about my birthday sale, lisa@lisaautry.com. That's how you'll email me. All right, let's read through the comments. Does anyone have any questions though? While I'm reading, any of you can go and unmute yourself and word vomit at me. So go ahead.
Yeah, I had a quick question.
Yeah.
Um, you in your slide that had the 6 buckets,
Yeah.
2 of them actually both said work.
Yeah.
I had a question about that. Why did you have 2 buckets that were work?
Okay, so thank you for asking. We have 5 values, which is not equal 6. So it gives you an extra value or it gives you an extra objective to play with. So when I was talking about that, I said, yes, there's 2 work buckets here because that's a day that I'm doing a lot of work. So most of the days, like today, I have a faith bucket, 2 work buckets, 2 family buckets, and my health bucket. So because my freedom is intrinsic, I don't have a freedom bucket. So with that, you can have 2 work buckets, and it's especially good for you guys because you do multiple functions. You'll do in business work and you'll do on business work. Like you'll work on content creation, and in business means maybe you're meeting with a client. So separating those out into 2 different buckets actually helps you because you're different people for those. Does that make sense? Okay. So that's why I give you guys an extra bucket, and it worked out really nicely when we started laying in our values because we have 5 values but we have 6 buckets. I always get this question, where do I put house cleaning? Because it's not a value for me. I put it under the family bucket because I'm like, you're all benefiting from it being clean, but you could add household. That's perfectly fine having a household bucket because you're like, it is not touching my family bucket, not happening. That's perfectly fine. That gives you, do you see how it gives you like an extra one to play with? For me, they do change. So some days is a heavy family day, so I put 2 buckets for that. And then, Aaron, I don't know your values, but if you have multiple intrinsic values, you might stack them other ways, and that's okay. I have one client, all 5 of her values are intrinsic: peace, freedom, justice. So we had to get very clear first on what those actually meant so we could attach activities for them. That has to be done in a one-on-one call, though. There's no program that I could release that could handle that like, because it means something different. Like peace and justice and freedom, all these intrinsic values mean something different to everyone. That's something, if you end up grabbing a roadmap, we could talk about. Okay, let's see. Let me know and pop on. I can read and handle questions too. When you go to sleep in chaos, you'll wake in chaos. It's true. It is very true. Declutter at 10. Lysandra, we have to talk about this because you should not be decluttering at 10 p.m. No, no more. We get that because we do what's known as rage cleaning because we're very overstimulated. No. This is because some of you ladies may not be bookending your days to create peace. And so if everything feels like a flurry at the end of the day, no. At like my true power downtime starts like at 6:45 when I'm like finally getting all settled down. Like that's not the time to bring out your old high school yearbooks and get angry. Please don't do that, okay? And based on your chronotype, all chronotypes, none of us should be doing that except the wolf chronotype. And I even will need to put boundaries on you because all of a sudden you'll be up at 3 a.m. and you'll be emailing your ex, and it's just not a good thing. Okay. Please don't do that. It is not helpful for our mental health. Declutter. Okay, Lysandra, you just opened a can of worms. We're going to talk about that later. Doing my dishes before bed was a game changer. Okay. So yeah, like this, it's resetting the spaces. So I have another client that does this too, that Nellie does. She's like, I clean my kitchen before bed because that creates the ultimate peace. Great. That's part of your 10-minute tidy. That's part of your power down. I have, like I said, I have a whole home pillar where I teach you transitional tidies because I'm very much a advocate for when you're in the flow, it's a lot easier. Like right when you finish eating, clean up the kitchen, but that's another discussion for another time. As long as you do it the night of, that creates so much peace because the kitchen is typically the heart of every home and it's a high traffic area, so it gets really crazy really quick. And there's nothing worse than waking up and it's a disaster, right? What other questions do you have for me? We got 13 minutes. Let's make it worthwhile. This is the time. Don't be shy.
So I got a lot of intrinsic values when I did the quiz.
Yeah, I remember that
And
too.
yeah, 2 of them were spirituality and religion. Would I like somehow just like combine those into like a faith bucket or and then another one was honesty and
Well,
authenticity was another one.
yeah. I
So yeah.
remember I was like, man, these are a lot of intrinsic values. And one of the homework assignments I gave you was what does those mean to your daily life? So if you've done that, that can help you. But let's talk the first one first and then bring up the second one. So spirituality and religion. You said religion, right?
Yeah.
Okay, those are actually like 2 different things for many people. If you see them as the same thing, that's okay. You can actually put them together into faith, or you can say, I'm going to call it spirituality or I'm going to call it religion, if you want to, and then pull up another value for yourself. So I've had many clients where they're so close, they're like, this is actually the same thing for me. I'm like, okay, then once you take that test, you can pull something out from the other test that would be on your top 5 values. What's the quiz? I missed the last meeting. Aaron, here it is, personalvalue.es. That's the values quiz. It's a free quiz. It gives you your top 5 values. And I know that Nelly recorded it. So please go and watch it because it's going to make this one way easier to understand. But Janelle, going back to yours, with your intrinsic, answer that question. What does that mean to my daily life? Can you say the second two that you had a question on?
Just it was just more intrinsic value. So
Yeah.
trying to find buckets and like label the buckets correctly. So
Mhm.
honesty and authenticity were the other two that were kind of
Okay.
similar.
So what you could do, and I had this with another client as well. She's like, like authentic. I'm like, okay, what does that mean for you? And she's like, it means like I'm showing up in the best way possible for my family. And then in regards to her business, she also has a plexus business. She's like, I want to be authentic there and true to myself. And I said, okay, well, it's sounding like your bucket objectives would be work and family. And in that, you're asking yourself, am I promoting honesty and authenticity in each of those? Because like I don't know what task authenticity could be, right? It's like that's where those intrinsic ones start getting muddled. And so we have to ask, what does that mean to our daily life so we can actually create a bucket for it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. And this is a very new concept probably for most of you, unless like Faith is working with me, Taylor's working with me, Lysandra and Nelly. I talk about this stuff all the time. And so many of you have heard of it, but if not, it takes a while to wrap your mind around, guys. Like it's not just like an easily understood concept because I developed this and it takes time to really understand practical application. But the goal of it is to practically apply it so that you guys can it's meant to make it fun, free, and flowing, if that makes sense. Good question, Janelle. And so that'll take you a little bit of time once you did that prior homework to then take that, what does it mean to me in my daily life, and apply it to that practical application. And I will tell you guys, if you have a lot of intrinsic values, your buckets could change. That's okay. It's not like I'm going to come over and say, you didn't keep your buckets consistent. It's only meant to be a basis for helping you guys delineate your time. Um, I have very tangible values. Like all of mine are tangible except freedom. So it was very easy for me to create my buckets. And like I said, those buckets do change and have an ebb and flow. But for those of you that have intrinsic, you actually have wiggle room to create it how you want. Now, that doesn't mean just floating. We want things to be fun, free, and flowing, but we want to be proactive with it and saying how we're going to fill our time. Did that help, Janelle? Good. Catherine, Faith, Lysandra, Taylor, what questions do you guys have for me? Or comments or concerns as well. Those are also taken.
I don't have a question, but I did want to share just like for some relatability and like encouragement. Like I printed out, so I know you gave me the Power of Five checklist, and so I ended up printing it out and I laminated it. And I keep it like in my refrigerator, like on the side of my refrigerator. I have like a whole bunch of sticky notes. It's a little crowded there, but I look at them all day. Um, so I have to be honest, I haven't done this every single day, but at least 4 days out of my week, I have it ready, whether it's like early in the morning. And you know what? Sometimes I do forget, and it's like 10 o'clock, and I find myself all over the place, and I'm like, I didn't do it. And so I stop and I do it because I mean, it really does help. But I just wanted to share because you have helped me kind of narrow things down. But my values were faith. I put faith slash wisdom because I took it twice. And faith is obviously like my first, but wisdom was also there. And I know that like faith and wisdom go hand in hand. And so my first one is faith and wisdom, family, health, love, and then financial freedom. And so I've been able to like acknowledge that within the family, like that's where I put all of like my homeschooling. I've been talking to Lisa about the fact that I spent like almost like 4 hours a day cooking because I cook breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Like, we homeschool, and so I cook every meal. Um, and so I really just calculate like my hours with like homeschooling and cooking all together, which is like surprisingly like 6 to 7 hours of my
The
day.
bulk of your time. Those are big objectives. Yeah.
Yeah, and then sometimes I even like remind myself and I'll put the cooking in like the love section so that I remind myself of why I'm doing it because it's so hard. But all that to say, so like my faith, like today I had an hour in the morning reading my devotional, praying, homeschooling, cooking, and then like even like my health, I go to the gym 3 times out of the week. And so I always put in my hour there. And then under financial freedom, like this is where I put like tonight I have a coaching group because I have 2 businesses now that I'm running. And so in an hour, I am gonna go on a coaching call for an hour and a half. And so that's there. And then today I did like 30 minutes of like content creation and then like 30 minutes of reach outs. Oh, so yeah. So I just wanted to show you ladies. And every day looks different. And I feel like I've gotten more comfortable in like choosing where I'm gonna put what, the more that, that I'm like intentional about my time.
It takes practice. And some you'll find that they fall into multiple categories. That's okay. And actually, that's a reminder of how in alignment you are. That's a good thing. So it's like, I'm doing it wrong. No, 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 no. The more in alignment, when your values can actually overlap, that's a beautiful thing. So in my faith bucket on Sundays, it's church. Well, church is also family related too. So I can see merging of multiple values. And like Lysandra was saying, the practice helps so much. And I'm going to tell you, Lysandra, I created this, and there's been days where I just don't do it just because, life. And it is a terrible day, let me tell you. And I'm like, oh, just like Lysandra said at the end of the day, you're like, oh, that's why I was impatient. I was overwhelmed because let me tell you, I have a lot of people come to me for routines. That is predominantly what I teach. I teach home routine finances. That's what my degree is in, is finances and entrepreneurship. I've helped people start many, many businesses and grow and scale their businesses. But more often than anything, people come to me for routines. They're like, give me the perfect routine. I'm like, well, you're going about it wrong because as women and mothers, our days are so fluid. Even if there's monotony in it, they change so much that when we look for a perfect routine, it will fall apart. Your routines are meant to be in the bookends of your day. And from there, your power of six decides how you show up. That's the choice. And it's okay. And that's the beautiful thing about being a business owner, about being a mother. We can look at our time differently. And I even have, so some of my clients go to work 9 to 5, and I'm like, guess what? On your power of six, that's going to be the majority of your buckets. You'll have a big bucket and a small bucket, but I even want you being productive. So I want you to be listing out what you're doing at work that day. You can attack that with an energy. You can list out, well, I have to do these client calls that day. And so they've even started distilling it down to where they're being more productive at their work and it's helping them feel more fulfilled. This is meant to be a simplified system. And I did tell you guys, like we're preparing to send to print. So this is my current planner, but within the next month, you guys will be able to grab the Power of Six journal. It's a journal, it's a devotional, it's your weekly planner, and we're hoping to make it 6 months worth. When we send it to printer, we need to see how big this thing's going to be, but it's meant to be all encompassing. So you take your business notes in it, you take everything, because I have some clients that have like 17 notebooks and planners. I'm like, no, this is why you're a mess. We're going to have one place to put everything. It's going to be super, super cool. And we're pricing it about the same as what a planner would be. So just be on the lookout for that. And when you go, so we're doing our rebrand launch next week. And in there, you can actually register for the Power of Six journal. And then we'll be releasing a masterclass with it when it's time to teach you how to use the planner too. So if this concept, you're like, I want to know more about it, there are going to be more resources for you guys. It's going to be really, really cool. It's been my baby in the making for the last 5 years now. So it's been really, really exciting. Does anyone else have any other questions for me? Taylor, I'm glad you're listening. I hope your daughter's okay. I hope everything went well. But do you guys have any more questions for me? We have 2 minutes left. You guys are awesome. Your homework assignment is start tonight. It might be the end of day for you. Literally go and start practicing this. If you haven't grabbed a roadmap call, grab a roadmap call. We can chat about anything business related, personal, anything like that. And then don't forget to grab flow. Does anyone have any questions for me? I think I covered all of my stuff. Catherine, you've been pretty quiet. Erin spoke, Janelle spoke.
I just want to say thank you, and I kind of wanted to follow up with Lissandra's with the cooking because I homeschooled too, and when she said that, I'm like, yes, I feel like I'm in the kitchen all the time, so I try to how to balance, homeschooling, cooking, and then working from home. It's a lot, so I appreciate you sharing that too, Lissandra. But I'm really big on time blocking. I know you're almost out, so this is way different than time blocking, what you're explaining. So my hours every day, and it's a mess. It never works out accordingly. So.
Time blocking is a very slippery slope. So I had this one client, she would time block if in 15-minute increments. I'm like, oh my gosh, even looking at the schedule, I'm exhausted.
Yes.
Blocking into like 2-hour chunks is not a bad idea because it gives you breath in there, right? Never block to the minute because it'll fail every single time. And this methodology, so here's my power of six for today. This methodology helps you look and quickly discern priorities. And I actually wrote, so like I put Nellie's coaching community, like I was doing that for today of one of my power of six objectives or tasks within the work objective. And I put 4 to 5 because I know like it's not like I can just do that whenever. So there's certain things that I'm like, I have to show up at specific times for, and I write those down. But the rest, I'm like, well, I'll just fit it in this time and that time because I have enough time to spend. And it does take a little bit of practice because it is a very different methodology. But every single one of my clients that use time blocking, this has worked far more effective because it is that slippery slope. If you miss that time block, you immediately feel like you failed. And instead, it's like, okay, well, yeah, you could have set a timer, but if your child needs you and you homeschool too, so your children are around all the time, just like mine and Lissandra's, like it is very easy to be like, we ran long on math and now my whole day has blown up, right? But that's the beauty of homeschooling. You may need more time on those factors and multiples. Like that's a hard concept. If we're doing, exponents, like my daughter, we had to sit there and go over longer, like, well, it's not to times two, it's times by itself. And we had to review it. Had I had a time block, I'm like, okay, we're done. We need to be done. I have that breath built in to say, I've got 4 hours for school. If I don't use all of that, I get extra time. Like that's cool. I have more breath in my day. Time blocking, when done well, it's great, but it more often than not, it makes us feel like a failure. It really does. So try this one. I don't believe you and I didn't chat last month, so grab a roadmap call and we can chat about it. Now, if you guys, like I said, I have very limited time this month. If none of those work for you, I'm coming in next month and I'll have more availability. But with the rebrand, I needed my team. I need to be available for my team. So I think I have like 3 days available this month. It's crazy. But don't worry, we have another month and I'll have a lot more availability in November. So, okay. All right, Nellie, do you want to say anything to close out, or is there any questions you had?
No, y'all are awesome. I'm really excited to catch up on some of the stuff, and I'm looking forward to working on my power of six now too.
So good. So good. And I hope to be seeing all of you ladies very soon. And next month is going to be a really fun concept of helping you be a leader in your business. So make sure you show up next month too. And I know Nellie has like the dates on that. I think it's November 13th, but my power of six, I haven't got there yet.
Whatever the second Thursday of November, we are going to be meeting with Lisa. Mark your calendars. Do not overbook yourself on that day. Ask me how I know.
All right. Thank you, ladies. I hope you have a wonderful night. Dive into the power of six, bookend your days, and you guys are going to be so successful in your businesses. Okay.
All right, thank you. Have a great night, y'all.